Please forgive the awkward facial hair. I'm doing an experiment. Hello everybody and welcome to History Abridged. It's history, just shorter. Today I want to talk about Ridley Scott's historic epic about the Crusades, Kingdom of Heaven. It takes place in the early 1100s and stars Orlando Bloom. When I first saw this movie, I thought it was just kind of okay. It looked cool, and I liked pretty much anything that had a sword in it at the time, so I liked it. But as I grew older, I saw it again, and it didn't really hold up. It fell kind of flat. It still looked cool, and I still enjoyed the big set pieces, but by the end of it, I couldn't even tell you the main character's name. I just called him Orlando Bloom. But then I heard about the director's cut. At first I dismissed it because nerds always say that the director's cut or the final cut or the extended cut or the Snyder cut or whatever are always better. And I didn't really know if that was true, but then I actually watched it and holy crap, it's actually way better. Like, so much better. A completely different movie. Basically, everything that was missing from the theatrical cut was there in the extended cut. Like, character development and reasons to sympathize with the characters. So, basic, like, depth. And I do really like this movie, especially the director's cut. But, as with every historical movie out there, there's going to be inaccuracies. But I think with this one, there are inaccuracies that serve the story more than they hurt anything else. So let's talk about them. I'm mainly going to be focusing on characters, their morals, who they were, and I want to talk a little bit about the ideology of the movie. Let's talk about Saladin, the Sultan of Damascus and Egypt, I believe. In the movie, he's portrayed as a humanist leader. He avoids killing when he can, and does his best to control the more overly zealous people around him. In reality, he had a couple different reputations. One of being the brutal, butchering, slaughtering infidel king that moved and just destroyed everything as he went across the desert. The other one is more of a magnanimous, but yet ruthless sort of king. Which one's true? I don't really know. Probably somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I'm guessing. And then there's Guy, French guy's name I can't pronounce. In the movie, he's portrayed as kind of this evil, villainous trash person who cheats on his estranged wife and then murders innocent people. But in reality, it seems like he was more just kind of an incompetent ruler. Like, he wasn't evil, he's just not good at his job. And when it comes to portraying the historical figures in this movie, the biggest differences, I think, are that of Balian of Ibelin. What some of the biggest differences are: A, he was not a bastard, and he was not born in France. He was actually born in Ibelin, and he was the true-born son of Barison of Ibelin. Also, he didn't have an affair with Princess Sibylla. Why does Hollywood have this weird thing about secret fake affairs with princesses? But to me, the biggest and most interesting inaccuracy in this movie is that of its ideology, its philosophy about morals and such. A couple of the recurring themes in this movie are that of religious pluralism, the idea of a bunch of different religions, different worship practices coming together and living in the same area peacefully, and religious skepticism, questioning the established organized religion, whether that be its structure or its ideology, which is a thing that both of those were not okay in the Middle Ages. Like, super, no, you don't do it. Like, it was very, very frowned upon. Like, super, no, it's a bad thing. Don't do it back then. They were not happy about it. Balian, Saladin, and the King of Jerusalem, Baldwin, are all portrayed as religious moderates who don't take the religion too seriously and are totally cool with lots of different religions living under the same roof. The real people probably were not like that. The movie even goes so far as to make its main character, Balian, a religious skeptic, offering up actual arguments against God's existence. Which, again, big no-no at the time. You're gonna get hanged or decapitated or something if you keep doing that. And one of the movie's most faithful characters, I don't remember his name, but he's played by the guy who plays Professor Lupin in Harry Potter. They make him really faithful, but not religious, if that makes sense. He's very anti-organized religion. That's kind of his whole thing. But there is also a theory that his character is actually God taking human form, trying to teach people his real will, but that's not what this video is about. That's a different thing. These ideals being held by medieval knights and nobles it's not a very plausible idea at its very best. I don't doubt that these people, all the people portrayed in this movie, were at least the average level of religiousness in their actual lives, which nowadays that would probably be considered fanaticism. I'm not saying that nobody back then was a skeptic. I'm sure there were. People are people, but like, people who voice those concerns out loud, like I said before, they have a hard time keeping their heads, like literally. I would argue though that these ideologies being present in the movie was a deliberate choice by the filmmakers to make the movie not just appeal to a broader audience, but, you know, an audience. Can you imagine that if this movie came out the time it did, just a couple of years after 9/11, spouting historically accurate medieval ideologies about how killing infidels is a righteous thing to do, and the heroes believing that and being right in the movie's eyes? I just don't think that will go over very well, like at all. Overall though, I think all of the historical inaccuracies in this movie were deliberate choices, again, deliberate choices by the filmmakers to make the story better. You don't go to a movie to learn historical fact. You go to a movie to be entertained, to have your horizons expanded, to understand what other people are going through, that sort of stuff. That's what art is for. History and academia are different. I like it when they intermingle and they get together and like make cool things like this movie, but they're never going to line up perfectly. So personally, I really enjoyed this movie despite its inaccuracies. I totally understand if you can't get past the philosophical and ideological anachronisms. I get that, it can be distracting. But personally, it didn't bother me, and I really enjoyed this movie, the director's cut, not the theatrical cut. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, little bell icon, that sort of stuff. If you have some thoughts on this video, put them in the comment section. And if you have a request for next episode or future episodes, put that in the comments as well. And as always, this is History Abridged. Thank you so much for watching.